Hey everybody, just a quick shout out for Season 2 of the Skullgirls Tour. Go ahead and sign up at www.skullgirlstour.org. Very first event is live. That's going to be Defend the North, which starts July 28th, 2017. You can go ahead and register on the smash.gg page, which is located at the skullgirlstour.org page. Looking forward to seeing you guys and enjoy the rest of the podcast. Hey everybody, I am the Purple Sharpie, and I'm here with my fantastic guest, WingZero. What's up, Wing?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for having me on.
You're a Guilty Gear player, right?
Yes.
That's fantastic. Tell us a little bit about that. Like, where'd you get your starts?
So I started watching Guilty Gear back at Rebel Up when I would ride with Mike Z to the Super Arcade tournaments, and I would watch Mike and all the other people play Guilty Gear, and I never got super into it until about 2 years ago when more people in the Skullgirls community were like, you know what, I want to play Guilty Gear. And I was just like, okay, I want to play Guilty Gear too.
Wait, other people in the community were about playing Guilty Gear? Who else was playing it with you?
Midiman plays Guilty Gear, Red plays Guilty Gear, Davida plays Guilty Gear, Fifi, who plays Guilty Gear, now plays Skullgirls. Like, it just Shin, AT Proof, my big bro who's out in Japan right now, he let us all go to his place, and we all just got into Guilty Gear for like the past few weeks.
Wow.
And we really liked it. Like, me and DeVito really hit it off with Guilty Gear. We kind of have this rivalry going on. He's like a lot better than me, but like I love playing him in Guilty Gear. And it's one of the things that pushed me the most to want to get really good at the game is that I can play another game with my friends that I love. And Guilty Gear has just been a trip. It's not super difficult as people think. There are a lot of intricacies, but it's like that with every other fighting game.
So you're talking about Plus R, to be specific,
yes.
Right?
Yes, Plus R is the one. Johnny.
Yeah, you fucking
Johnny and all. Johnny is awesome.
Okay.
Like, he's just confident. He's cool. He has style. He's like, he knows what he is and he makes it work. I like that.
Did you play Guilty Gear before Skullgirls?
No, I never played Guilty Gear before Skullgirls. The only games I played before SG were Marvel 3. I think that's the only one I tried. Like, I played online a lot. I went to a few tournaments for it. Wasn't that good, but then I got into Skullgirls directly after that.
Oh, wow.
It was while I was still in high school, because I remember, so around 2010, 2009.
Wow.
Because I remember we would have tournaments at the high school, and one of the games we had there was like Super Smash Bros. Brawl, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, games like that. And I would always, like, I was part of the group that ran the tournaments there, and I would enter. And I would play Marvel. I would get my butt kicked. I would play Smash.
Oh, so that was right after the Ultimate patch. That was.
I'm not sure. Remember when the Ultimate patch came out, but yeah, it was still Marvel 3 back when I played it in high school.
Yeah, that's pretty nice. Yeah, so that was literally right on the cusp of it. I guess as a cool follow-up question, what was your team in Marvel?
I played Dante, Felicia, and Captain America. I kind of messed around with everyone, but in terms of like if I was playing online and I wanted to win, I would use that team.
Do you just kind of gravitate towards characters that you really like inside of a game?
Pretty much. My thing about fighting games is that I have to find a character that I like aesthetically and that I feel I can grasp. That's probably my hugest problem with, like, I absolutely love Vampire Savior. I love playing it and I love the community, but there's not a character in that game that I can really enjoy. And I feel that's what's holding me from just really digging into it and taking it seriously.
I guess if you had to really describe like the playstyle that you look for in a character.
Nope, not really. It just has to be something that I find cool or something that I really like. Like, because if you think about it, Philia is basically Magneto, while Johnny is nothing like Magneto. He doesn't have fast mix-ups. He's not really fast. He has really long buttons, and you cancel the recovery of those buttons via miscanceling. Philia doesn't have anything like that. They're not similar at all. The only thing I like about them both is their aesthetic. And I told myself when I played Guilty Gear that I knew Johnny was the character that I wanted to play. And I've always been told that Johnny is like, when Mike said, who do you want to play? He went, Johnny. He went, are you serious? I'm like, yeah. He went, why? I'm like, he's cool. He's just super. He went, is that the only reason? Like, I see you playing Haas or Eno, or I'm like, you say that because they're like Philia. But I was like, I want to play Johnny. He went, Johnny's gonna be a long road. I'm like, that's fine. I'm gonna enjoy playing this character.
So as long as you essentially have fun with the character and enjoy the aesthetic and enjoy the backstory and everything. So in that sense, you could say that character story is like really important to you.
maybe not character story, but just how the way they are, like their
Personality.
design, their personality, the way they act, like a huge the one character I think is super cool, aside from Philia and Johnny, is Kagura and BlazBlue. I think that character is one of the most flashy, arrogant, and cool characters. Sure, he has a bunch of bad things about him, but I think he's just super cool. He's just in BlazBlue. That game it's not my cup of tea.
That's
But
fair.
but yeah, I feel like if you just find a character that you really enjoy aesthetically, gameplay wise, or anything that you can really get behind, it drives you a bit more to take that game seriously.
Oh, you've been playing Skullgirls for a while, since I'm assuming vanilla. Is that correct?
Yep, since vanilla 2012.
Okay, so originally when you started playing, did you play solo?
Yes, I played solo Philia for at least a year.
Okay, at least a year. What happened
Yeah.
from there?
I kept getting bodied, honestly. Okay, I'm just gonna say this. Solo Philia back in vanilla was really, really bad.
Oh no.
Well, her in vanilla, she didn't have hairball cancels. She didn't have conversions off ringlet spike, and it didn't cause not stagger, but it didn't like stun them for a minute. She was if you didn't play reset Philia, you were playing a very interesting character. I played her mostly out of aesthetic because she was cute as heck, and I just kept getting bodied. Like I would play people like not really Duck, but a few other people online. I can't really remember any names. But I would get bodied, and I was like, maybe I want to pick up a second character. Maybe it's time I learn someone else. And I played Valentine because Valentine is the closest to like my style that I played in SG, which was Rushdown. And then she had like a bunch of tools. She was just very versatile. She had bypass, scalpel. She had a level like vanilla Valentine. Hold on a second. I have a friend, an old friend that I used to play with, and he played Valentine. We both played solo, and his favorite gimmick in vanilla was Valentine would do grab, and then level 3, and it would do full damage because back in vanilla's throws weren't scaled.
Oh Jesus.
So her level 3 would do full damage, and I would cry or scream every time he got a throw when he had 3 bars. And I was just like, this is cheap. And then when Mike said, okay, SDE patch is coming out, throw scale to 50% or something along those lines. And I was like, yes, no more cheap shit. Like, I was so happy about that. But I picked up Valentine, and then that was when I started going to Salty and started becoming an actual offline player. And then SCR rolled around, and before SCR, I was debating, should I pick up another character? Because, I thought, like, this is the process. You play one character, then another character, then another character, and voila, you have a three-man team.
Can we pause for a second? You went to SCR exclusively for Skullgirls? Or
Yeah,
was there another game that you were playing?
Nope, I didn't play any games other than SG back then.
Wow. So you were originally essentially just messing around in Marvel, mostly online, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And then you picked up Skullgirls and you just kind of stuck to that. So the very first local that you went to was for Skullgirls. The very first, I want to call it a major just because FCR, and I'm assuming that was like one of the bigger Southern California events back then.
It wasn't official, but yeah, SCR did have a Skullgirls tournament.
Okay, so I want to consider like the very first major that you went to was for Skullgirls.
Yep.
Wow. So okay, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to get a timeline right now of really understanding. But yeah, no, that's awesome. So when you finally went to SCR, what was that like? Like your very first huge tournament. You see a bunch of other Skullgirls players that you're there for, and you start getting a little bit better and more comfortable. You now have a 2-man team, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
And where do you go from there?
Well, what was the event like, or where did I actually go from after the tournament?
Where did you actually go from after the tournament?
I mostly just stuck to locals. Everyone was saying go to Evo, and like I've never been to Vegas for like something that wasn't like a family trip or something along those lines. So when things started getting close to Evo, I buckled down, saved up, and I eventually went and I played in tournament. I made it out of pools and winners. I think I got top 16 that year at Evo 2013. Yeah, I got top 16. I made it out of pools. I think I fought Sev. She beat me, and then I fought TJ, and he beat me, and I was out of turn. And I had a lot of fun. It was my first time at Evo. I got to meet a bunch of faces I've talked to online. Like meeting TJ online was an experience. Meeting Duck for the first time was an experience. It was just surreal and amazing. It was a good time. I enjoyed myself.
I guess my question is, when
Hmm.
did you decide to make the switch back to Solophilia? Because I was there. Almost, I guess, at this point now, 2.5, 3 years ago, when you were famous for playing Solophilia. I specifically remember one of the very first games that I saw at my very first major, which was NEC 2000, 2015, or was it 14? It was 2015 or 14.
14.
It was 14.
2014.
2014. And you were playing Pick Mario
Hmm.
with Solophilia. So
Hmm.
why don't we talk about the journey from your team back to a pocket Solophilia to just Solophilia again? Because I'm kind of interested in like what the transition was. I know there were a lot of changes as far as the game and solos. As a solo player myself, I understand Mike implemented a lot of things to make
Hmm.
solos more viable. But from what I understand about everything you've said as characters in general, that's never really been a huge concern for you.
No, not really.
So
Um,
what made you want to move back from your team, which you were doing pretty well with, to Solophilia again?
so Philia was my first character, so I've always felt comfortable just using her by herself. And after tournaments, I do this thing where I don't really play SG, my old team. I don't play Skullgirls very often. If I do play it, I'll just play solo Philia. And I call that refinement because I want to change what I've been doing, and I want to go back to how it was when I started. So if I find something that I used to do, or something that I haven't found out yet, or I try to change my play style a bit. I try to work on my neutral. I try to refine my play a lot after majors, just so I can get a little bit better. And after Combo Breaker 2017, not 2017, 2016, when I put Squiggly on my team, I just thought to myself, like, I'm not enjoying this formation or this team I have. And I put SG away for a while because I got into Guilty Gear and I wanted to really focus on that. And in Arx's games like BlazBlue and Guilty Gear, it's a 1v1 setting. You don't have assist or certain like alpha counter into other character or things like that. It's a strictly 1v1 situation. So neutral's definitely a lot different. You have to approach your opponent in different ways. You don't have to be wary about certain things. And while I was focusing on Guilty Gear for so long, like I stopped playing SG for about. Oh, I didn't stop playing it. Like I still played on my free time, but I didn't enter tournaments. Uh, I mostly focused on Guilty Gear. In that time frame, it was like 6 months or maybe 6 months. No, it was a year. It was a year. For 6 months, I stopped playing it competitively because I was focusing on Guilty Gear. And I thought to myself, I had a bit of not an epiphany, but a realization that if I take what I've learned in this game that has a bunch of nuances and intricacies and put it to my SG play, I think I can do really well with just playing one character. And it really affected my neutral a lot because in Guilty Gear, you can get hit by so much dumb stuff. Like you think SG has some crazy stuff, you should play Guilty Gear sometime and be like, how am I getting hit here? And like, yeah, you have to stand block that. Yeah, if you don't stand block that, the next hit is unblockable. I'm like, excuse me? Like there are so many stupid things in that game, but it's fun. Like learning the intricacies to games and just the fact that you can do this, it's an achievement to me. So when I found out and I started playing solo Philia, I found out that if I just take advantage of the tools that a solo has, if I have better neutral than my opponent, solid defense, punish bad assist calls, and if my mix-ups are on point, I can basically run through any kind of like duo or trio. And I just made up my mind that come Combo Breaker, I was thinking like, man, do I really just want to play solo Philia? And it was really getting to me. I was like, should I play my team? I have not played my team in a year. And I was just like, oh man, I don't know how I'm gonna do. I don't care. I'm just going to play solo Philia. I'm going to do what I've learned. I went and I rolled with it, and it worked surprisingly well.
Well, I mean, you placed second, so
Yeah, very lucky.
I think it went really well.
But yeah, Guilty Gear definitely changed my perspective a lot in how I view my opponent and how I approach them in neutral. It definitely became less of, okay, I made them block, time for a dumb mix-up. More of, I'm going to see how they work at neutral. I'm going to see how they want to move at me, what buttons they want to throw out.
And
If
force
I
them
can,
into a reaction that you have already
yes,
predicted, right? Based off their previous
yes.
things. That's probably also my favorite thing is as a solo player as well, because you get to see that a lot. Like, I think one of my favorite things inside of Skullgirls, especially when you're playing against a team, is you can actually tell when someone's about to call their assist based off
Hmm.
the position you put them into. It's like the very first thing you start to notice is, holy shit, you're going to use that assist to cover up something, and as soon as I get rid of that assist, I'm good to get in because you haven't practiced a way to stop someone from getting in. This is your only answer to stopping someone from getting in. You have no other answers right now. And I feel
Hmm.
like that's the biggest crutch that teams feel. Do you agree with me in that sense?
There's just definitely, sorry, there are definitely certain teams that are based around assist. Uh, so Mike's team, for example,
Who?
Mike's team, I have a special name for. I call it Crouching Big Band Hidden Bella
So, for
because
anyone who's listening and doesn't know, Mike Z's team is currently Point Big Ban.
no, Point Sarabella
Oh, I'm
with
sorry, Point Sarabella with
Point
Big Ban
Sarabella
as
with M
anchor.
with point anchor big band with medium beat extend assist. And the color that he uses,
Oh
it's
god.
so hard to tell where Bella is when she does Concho because she's basically hidden behind Bella. It's like camouflage. So it's so hard to see those two. But the second you get rid of Big Band, which is like not an easy thing to do, Mike's Big Band's actually pretty good. But once you get rid of Big Band, you feel like you have a lot more room to breathe and you're a lot more comfortable in neutral. But their whole playstyle revolves around this assist or this conversion. And when you cripple them of that, it definitely forces them to play differently. So you have to like weigh your options. So say you're fighting someone with beam assist and they play point Philia, and beam assist is making you respect all of Philia's mix-ups. You snap in Rebel Fortune, you kill beam assist. Now Philia actually has to play neutral with you, and her neutral is K-ish.
Hmm.
But basically, if you strip the thing that's really giving you a hard time, and it puts them in a very uncomfortable situation, maybe they have not practiced this, but you have to weigh your options and you have to take risks sometimes.
What do you feel has been your greatest success in your gaming life? Like, since
You-
you started playing video games, which I'm assuming the very first game that you played, like, essentially competitively would be Marvel vs. Capcom 3, is that correct?
Yeah, just online.
So, what do you feel like has been the greatest thing that you've been proud of since you started playing Marvel?
I started playing Marvel. I didn't really accomplish much in Marvel other than just playing it online and having some fun with that. Uh, I guess most happiest about was just my play this year at Combo Breaker.
So, this has kind of
Uh,
been like your magnum opus.
Probably. I mean, it's the furthest I've ever gotten in terms of like a national, because we consider Combo Breaker our national for Skullgirls,
Mm-hmm.
and like that's where all the demons are. That's where all the top players are. Everyone from around the world and from all the parts of the like the country came to play here. Like Sage was there. Oh, not Sage. Sage was there. Cloud was there. Lazy was there. Liam was there. All the people who the community consider very strong at the game were there. And the fact that I was able to get so far with just playing the one character I actually really like in Skullgirls, it still hasn't quite struck me, to be honest.
Was there anybody you did finish second? So obviously Sonic Fox, I'm certain you considered him a threat. But was
Of
there
course.
anybody else in the general community that you were worried about playing at Combo
Oh
Breaker?
yeah. Once I got out of pools, so do you want me to tell you that like my whole lineup of people I was like, okay, this guy's a threat.
Like if you could number them, if you could rank them essentially.
Rank them? Okay, well Sonic of course
Starting
is
from
number
most
one.
scary all the way
That's
to
most
I guess
scariest.
I have to play him or whatever.
So Sonic Fox number one most scary. Liam second. TJ third. Then it's Cloud and Lazy. Cloud and Lazy are both really strong, and they both know how to deal with Philia very well because they play Sonic a lot. So definitely them. Outside of
That's top 4.
yeah, outside of them, let's see. There was Pen Pen, and I was worried about. At first, I was told I was gonna have to fight Sage out of pools, but then Pen Pen beat Sage.
Oh my god,
and
that was spooky.
And like the second he told me I had to fight Sage, I was like, okay, Sage knows how to fight solos. He has such a good neutral game, and he knows how to bully the hell out of people. So that's probably going to be an immediate loss. It's probably a 3-0, but I'm gonna go down swinging. And so, but then that happened, and I was like, okay, well, I fought Pen Pen once, and it was online, and it went like he beat me 3-2. And then we got on stage, and he played this alt team, and I just thought, whatever. And so I just thought whatever, and I played him, and then he picked his real team at the end of it, and I was like, okay, now this is where we get serious. And solo Philia steamrolled 3 characters.
Yeah, it did.
Honestly, in my personal opinion, I feel like if he played his real team from the get-go, that probably would not have been the result. But you pick and choose.
Ooh, God. Okay. You wanna?
No, Pen Pen is a strong player. Like, no doubt. Don't let anything fool you. He is very strong, in my opinion.
And how much money did you win from that? If you wanna.
I won $700.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it was a nice piece of change. I will not lie.
Change? That's change to you? You guys see
No,
this,
not
man?
at all. That's more money than I make on my weekly job.
Yeah, nah. I mean, not more money. I mean, yeah, that's a lot of money.
I was really surprised. I was really surprised.
Yeah, I would be too. How did you get into video games in general?
Just video games in general, not fighting games.
Mhm.
Well, when I was little, my dad put me, when I was old enough, I think around 4 or 5 years old, my dad put me in front of the TV and he put a Super Nintendo controller in my hand. And I played Super Mario World.
Mhm.
I played that. I played Yoshi's Island. I played Street Fighter, and I had no idea what I was doing. But basically, I just played a bunch of old games, and I've been playing video games ever since I was little. First console that I think I've owned that was mine was a Sega Genesis, where I played Sonic the Hedgehog. I had a little cartridge that had 3 Sonic games. It had Sonic the Hedgehog, the very first one. It had Sonic 2, and then it had Dr. Eggman's Mean Bean Machine. And when I was young, I literally only played those games. As I got older, they bought me a PlayStation, and it had the disc in it that had a bunch of demo games. Like, it had Tekken 3, it had Jersey Devil.
I remember how they used to send those out, like with Final Fantasy and stuff. It was like only the first 10 minutes.
Yeah, exactly.
And like SSX Tricky and stuff. You can only play like one game mode, and it was the only multiplayer one. Yeah, no, I remember that. Aw. I do not miss those. I do not miss those at all. They were worse. They were worse than buying the actual game, because even though you could play like 5 of them, you could only play like 10 minutes of 5 of them, and you always sat there like, I wonder what happens next, because I can't afford to buy this game.
But yeah, I had that, and I think I had that game I had the demo disc for a long time, and one of my fondest memories of that game was playing Tekken 3. And even though it was just a demo, you only had 2 characters. You had Eddie Gordo and you had Xiao Yu. And I would mess with those 2 so much, and I don't know what it was, but I think that's what got me probably interested in fighting games, was playing Tekken 3. Maybe that was it when I was at a really young age.
I feel like we just had like a breakthrough.
Maybe. I really enjoyed playing Eddie and Zhao until I actually bought Tekken 3. Played Jin. I had a lot of fun with the game. I didn't really compete or anything, but I had fun just playing the computer and doing.
I can see you being a Jin player. That makes sense to me. From everything that you've told me, no, that's exactly why it makes sense to me.
He's edgy.
He's the edgelord of the game. You pick the characters that are the edgelords or thick. Those are like.
That's not true, because Johnny and Kagura aren't edgy at all.
Oh, okay.
Seth is edgy. Seth from Under 9 Birth is absolutely edgy. Philia is not edgy.
100%. No, that's why I said thick or edgy.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like Johnny's kind of edgy.
But in long story short, I've been playing. I've had consoles all my life. The first one I actually bought with my own money was a Wii. I enjoyed playing that.
What did you play on the Wii?
I had Smash Bros. Oh, I remember when Smash Bros. Brawl came out. I think one of the very other tournaments I went to was that the midnight release for Smash Bros. Brawl. They had a melee tournament. And funny story, I didn't get to know Bang Camaro until I went to Salty, but me and Bang actually met before at the midnight release selling for Super Smash Bros. Brawl, where he kicked my shit in with the Captain Falcon, and I had no idea who the guy was. And then like we met each other, and it's like, did you go to the midnight release and we played? You were a Fox, and I played Falcon. And I'm like, yeah, you kicked my shit in. And we're like, yo, like we was
you
just,
guys both played the melee characters in that game. There was a whole new lineup. You guys both picked melee characters. There are a lot of memes. There are a lot of memes about you on the internet.
Yep.
Do you have is there a reason why?
People have strange hobbies. That's all I'm going to say about that, really. I don't know why they would choose to meet me. Maybe they just wanted to. You never know.
Do you have a favorite meme, personally?
A favorite meme?
Maybe of yourself, maybe of somebody else, but like a Skullgirls-based meme. There are a lot of them. I've realized that the more and more that I venture into other communities don't have as many memes as we do. At all.
Well, I wouldn't really call them memes so much as inside jokes. Like, no one like if you go to like just on the internet, people know what a meme is, or like a certain meme. But if you look in the Skullgirls community, they're more like inside jokes. Like, people outside the SG community won't understand 6 or 10 or I still don't even I still don't even understand 10 and 15. I understand 6 because it's a stupid typo. But
10 came around because Socks wanted to make a meme, and 15 came around because I wanted... You know how people used to just tweet things and everyone just copied it?
Mm-hmm.
And no one knew where it came from. We just copy it, like, for no reason. So I just made that one day, and everybody just copied it, and I didn't expect it to turn into a meme, and then it did. I literally just did it to bother Deer.
Nice.
I mean, it worked, because now whenever I see him, I say 15 or 51, he, like, freaks out. It's great. Don't do that at home, kids, by the way. That's rude and mean, so...
But no, I don't think I have a favorite SG meme. I can't even think of any right now off the top of my head.
So, Wing, is there anything, you want to say about yourself before we go ahead and close it out?
I just want to say thank you to the Skullgirls community, and thank you to WingZero for, basically changing my life. I never expected that I would be traveling to state to play video games, and Skullgirls gave me that opportunity. So even though I don't always say it, I'm very grateful to this community, to its developer, and to the scene that keeps it alive.
Oh, that's great. So if someone wanted to follow you on social media, where would they be able to reach you?
You could follow me at WingZero626, capital W, capital Z, on Twitter. I also stream Guilty Gear and Skullgirls quite frequently on my Twitch, which is the exact same handle.
Oh, that's fantastic. Well, thank you so much for doing this with me, and I hope you have a fantastic day, Wing.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Okay. Pretty painless, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.